legally, the name on the child's name section of the birth certificate, that's actually owned by Vital Records Corporation, and the only people who can legally use it are attorneys, unless, of course, the attorneys were to give me permission to use it. See, I don't want to practice law without a license.
If it's the person listed on the record, that's their record. They can get it.
Well, what I'm telling you is the person is actually a legal entity at the child's name. The attorneys created that, and that's theirs. They actually, I'm looking at a birth certificate right now. On the back of it, it says void if copied, and any reproduction of the document is prohibited by statute. So they actually have a copyright protection on that birth certificate and the name on it. So I want to be above board. I don't want to break the law. I don't want to encroach on the legal dominion without permission from one of the bar attorneys that's in it.
Do you have a relationship to that person on the record?
Well, no. I mean, I'm just a living being, and so I don't have a relationship with a.
Maine's a closed record state. You can't get anybody's record. You can't just get anybody's.
Well, it's Maine. That's their property. They got to give me a copy, and I got to actually buy it. They won't give me a copy of their property, which is the birth certificate, unless I give them some money. See, they're actually selling.
You can't get the record unless you pay for it and give us some photo ID and or your relationship to the person on that record if it's not yours.
Well, see, we don't have any relationship to pieces of paper that attorneys create.
You have a relationship to the person listed on that record.
Well, the person is a fiction. I don't have a relationship with the fiction. It's like the attorneys created the birth certificate, and it's like a character in their story, right? And so that's theirs. So I need written permission to use their character on the birth certificate. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a bar attorney, so I can't just go and grab one of their legal documents and misrepresent myself as being one of the characters on their legal documents. You know?
Okay. Sir, I'm going to transfer you. Actually, I'm going to pass you over to Mary, who is the front desk clerk, and she might be able to help you a little bit more.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, this is Mary. Can I help you?
Hey, Mary. Yeah, sorry to take up your time here. I might come across as an idiot, but bear with me because I just want to do the right thing, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes, and I don't want to break any laws. And by the way, I'm not an attorney. Are you an attorney?
No.
Okay. So that's where I'm coming from. Because I'm not an attorney, I feel uncomfortable in requesting and using a legal document called the birth certificate. So is there any way, and I think in Maine, that it's illegal to practice law without a license. Is that right?
I don't know. What record are you trying to get, sir?
I'm questioning the birth certificate, trying to find out if I can legally request the birth certificate. And given the fact that I'm not an attorney, I'm trying to figure out
birth certificate.
Yeah, how can I get a legal document and then use that legal document to do other things like get a passport or driver's license? Given the fact that I don't have I'm not a bar attorney. I don't have a license to practice legal or law.
Okay, what are you trying to get, sir?
The birth certificate.
Of who?
I can get to that, but here's the thing. The child's name, okay, that's not mine. That's actually Vital Records. They have the original birth certificate, and they won't give it to me.
So it's your record?
No. It's Vital Records' record. The Vital Records, they own the original. They only give copies.
What certificate are you talking about?
Now, hold on a second. It's a copy of that which is owned by Vital Records. Do you understand? It's not mine. It's not yours. It's Vital Records who owns it, right? We can only get copies, right?
Certified copies.
Yeah. So the original is owned by Vital Records. Is that correct?
It's filed with the state of Maine.
Okay, so Maine owns it then. The state of Maine owns it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's theirs. They created it, and I can only get a copy as a requester. And so what I'm curious to know and what I'm confused about at this point is since I'm not an attorney, how can I request and then use the legal document known as the birth certificate without also being guilty of practicing law without a license?
Okay, I don't begin to understand what you're saying. Is it your birth certificate?
No, we already established the state of Maine owns the birth certificate.
Okay. I'm going to put you over to my boss. Hang on.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Roberta Fog. I'm the Deputy State Registrar. Can I help you?
Sure. Good morning to you too, Roberta. Yeah, listen, I may come across as an idiot here because I'm a little bit confused on the birth certificate stuff. So if you could just help me out as best you can, I'd appreciate it. First and foremost,
sure. Can I get your name so I know who I'm talking to?
Well, that's part of what I'm going to talk to you about. First of all, I'm not an attorney. Are you an attorney?
No, I'm the Deputy State Registrar for the Maine Vital Records.
Okay, great. Well, here's the situation, Roberta. The name on the birth certificate and the birth certificate itself, it's owned by the state of Maine, correct?
You'd need to give me more context than that statement, please.
Okay. So the original birth certificate that we can request copies of, like the certified copy of the birth certificate, is the birth certificate itself, the original, is owned by state of Maine, right?
Correct. It's property of the state of Maine.
Okay, cool. And so what I'm a little confused about is that's a legal document, right?
It's a legal document once it's issued in a certified format.
Okay. And so in order to get a hold of a legal document, how do I do that without also being a bar attorney? Because I don't have the authorization to do...
You don't need to be a bar attorney. In the state of Maine, to obtain a record, and there's a huge echo on this phone, so I apologize, to be able to obtain a certified copy of a record in the state of Maine, you prove your identity if it's your record. If it's not your record, you prove your identity and you prove your relationship to the individual on the record. If you're not related to the person on the record, then you prove your identity and that you prove you have a legal need for the record. And it really depends on whose record you're trying to get and why you're trying to get that, whether you can get a record or not.
Well, when you say prove, could I prove it using, say, a legal driver's license?
If it's your document and you show your driver's license that's issued by a government entity, then yes, that would show who you are, your identity. If it matches the record, you'd be entitled to get a certified copy of that record at the price that's set by the state registrar.
Well, okay. Well, here's the confusion point. When you say my record, we've already established that the state of Maine owns the birth certificate, so that's not my record.
You are the subject of the record. Are you the subject of the record that you're trying to obtain?
No, of course not. The state of Maine owns the record. All that is theirs.
No, wait a minute. The record has a subject on it. It's called the registrant, the person who the record is made out for. I have a record. I'm the registrant. The record belongs to the custody of the state of Maine. If I want a copy of my record, I show my photo ID and proof that's my record. I can get a certified copy of that. Okay,
well, here's the problem. When that record was created, it was probably in the vicinity of 7 days from the period that I was brought into the world. So that record has nothing to do with me. That was something between Mom and the hospital and Vital Records. I got nothing to do with that. So there's no way it can be my record ever. So.
And your point, are you trying to get a record or not?
Well, I'm trying to establish how I can get a record given the fact it's not even mine, number one, and number two, it's a legal document, so how could I get it without also being an attorney?
The state statutes outline in Title 22, Section 2706, access to records. It clearly states that if you are the subject of the record, you're entitled to the record.
But how could you be a
By
subject?
providing proof of your identity.
No, wait, no. We already established there's no way. There's no way to be a subject to a record. We had nothing to do with the creation thereof. Okay, we were too young. We were 0 years old, so there's no way it has anything to do with us.
Wait a minute. Stop. We're not an attorney. I'm not going to argue this with you.
Well, it sounds like you're dispensing legal advice.
You won't even give me your current name?
Well, now, the name that you're looking for is like the one on the child's name portion of...
I'm looking for the name in which to call you by.
Right.
I don't even know what to refer to you as.
Well, I comprehend that. Sorry for that, and let me tell you why that is. The name that I've been called by, it turns out to be the one on the child's name section of the birth certificate, and that's a legal name, and I'm not legally authorized to use that kind of intellectual property that the state of Maine owns. Are you? Are you authorized to use that?
Sir, I'm not going to have this discussion any longer.
Are you dispensing...
I'm more than happy to continue explaining to you how you can request a birth record.
But that's a legal process. Aren't you breaking the law when you're helping me do legal things?
No, sir, I'm not.
Because you just said that you would help me do legal things without a bar card.
I told you that I would give you the process on how to request your record.
But isn't that practicing legal in law?
No, it is not.
Well, how's that? You're helping me do some legal thing, so don't you need to be an attorney?
It is not a legal process, sir.
So it's not a legal process?
It is a process that is developed by this department in accordance with the state statutes and the department rules.
So that's a legal department that you're in?
No, I work for the State of Maine Department of Data Research and Vital Statistics in the Vital Records Office.
Isn't the state of Maine a legal corporation?
I would assume so.
So then you're involved in a legal office, involved in everything in that legal office was created legally. So you're willing to help me.
Sir, I'm going to end this
to do legal
conversation.
things.
If you'd like to call back, please feel free to do. Ask for Roberta Fog. Thank you.